Well, last week, a state audit into the Illinois Department of Children and Family Services revealed massive dysfunction. The department in charge of caring for the state's most vulnerable kids, failing them on everything from regular medical visits to home checks to the way the department is staffed. CBS 2's Chris Tye has covered the department for years. Chris, today some fresh calls for the DCFS director to step down.
Erica, the director of DCFS has now been held in contempt of court 10 times for the mismanagement of kids in his care. Those who've monitored this department for decades say this has never happened once, let alone 10 times in less than a year. Lawmakers saying the time for change is now.
I'm calling on Director Smith to resign or be removed from his position as director of DCFS immediately.
Marc Smith's tenure at the top of DCFS is something CBS 2 pushed the governor on back in March when Smith racked up his 8th contempt of court.
How many more times can the head of DCFS be held in contempt until we do something more meaningful, perhaps change at the top? If we see you in a month, will it be time number 12 and time number 15?
You're ignoring all of the progress that's been made at DCFS.
But progress is not what last week's report from the state auditor general reflects. It showed huge chunks of the state's most vulnerable kids missing physicals, vision tests, hearing screenings, and 88% missing at least one dental exam. When the auditor asked for home safety checklists for kids returning home from foster care, DCFS was unable to provide them in 98% of cases. When the auditor looked for evidence kids in DCFS care were being properly immunized, the data was unreliable. Republican lawmakers drawing now a line in the sand.
We have had all sorts of failures at DCFS over the last 30 years, but this is unprecedented to have this many contempt orders against a single agency.
As noted, problems with the department have existed for decades under Democrats and Republican governors. The department has been under a consent decree to monitor progress for 31 years now. Insiders tell us DCFS directors are usually moved in and out of the corner office so often they can never really gain any traction. They suspect keeping Smith in place is an effort to stop that revolving door. Live in the newsroom, Chris Tye, CBS 2 News.
So much work needs to be done. Thank you, Chris.